Elon Musk and President Trump are coming for the penny. Yeah, that's right. The guy with the massive penny behind his desk wants to get rid of the real thing. The president wrote in a post, "For far too long, the United States has minted pennies which literally cost us more than 2 cents. I have instructed my Secretary of the U.S. Treasury to stop producing new pennies." And that post came after Doge called out the penny on X. It's true. According to the U.S. Mint, last year, a 1-cent penny cost 3.69 cents to make, a 20% increase over the year before. Now consider that 5.9 billion coins were shipped out last year, and more than half of them were pennies. The Mint says they lost the government $85 million. So you can see how this might raise some questions about whether the penny is worth it. But as the saying goes, there are two sides to every coin, and we are going to explore that here. The debate about whether to kill the penny has a long history. And as someone who was living in Canada when that country stopped producing the penny, I've seen what life is like both with it and without it. Canada is one of the many countries that has done away with low denomination coins. Australia, Brazil, Finland, Israel, the Netherlands, Sweden, Switzerland, the list goes on. I remember in 2013 when Canada's then finance minister said, quote, "The penny is a currency without any currency." Canada swiftly stopped producing the penny, and they claim this saved millions of dollars every year. No economic upheaval. Businesses just had to start rounding to the nearest nickel for cash transactions. How does rounding to the nearest nickel work? For that, let's head to the WRAL snack bar. If a bag of chips costs $2.78, they'd be rounded up to $2.80. If a granola bar, let's say, costs $1.44, it'd be rounded down to $1.40. Countries can get specific with how they handle rounding, but in Canada's case, they largely left it up to businesses. That, of course, is Canada, though. Here in the United States, some believe that rounding could be problematic in curbing inflation.
I think you just have to be a little bit careful there. The United States is the largest economy in the world, right? We're 10 times larger than Canada, 15 times larger than New Zealand, Australia, some of these other countries that have made that change. And so I just think we want to look closely at what that impact is going to be, both on consumers and both on the more broadly on the economy.
All right, we are back in studio. I guess I should get rid of these. Thank you. Okay, the guy on the Zoom call you just heard from was the head of Americans for Common Sense, yes, CENTS. He argues that getting rid of the U.S. penny will cost Americans more because it will put more nickels into circulation. And get this, nickels aren't cost effective either. Last year, the 5-cent nickel cost nearly 14 cents to make.
It's really hard to explain to people how you're going to save money if you're making more nickels that are actually losing more money than the penny is.
Yikes. The penny guy is going after the nickel guy. The dime guy over there is like hiding in the bushes, like, keep me out of this. Now, instead of killing the penny, lawmakers have spent years bouncing around the idea of figuring out how to lower the cost of creating the coin. You know, the penny is 97.5% zinc, 2.5% copper. North Carolina Republican Congressman Tim Moore is a member of the House Financial Services Committee, and he thinks we should revisit this.
There are certainly less expensive metals that could be used, or alloys that could be produced more cheaply than actually using copper itself. So I think that makes sense. But as far as actually getting rid of that denominator currency, if you will, I'm just unconvinced that in and of itself is a great idea.
Mark Weller with Americans for Common Sense argues changing what the penny is made of won't actually have the cost-cutting impact Congressman Moore is hoping for. But to be fair, Weller is a paid lobbyist for a zinc production company. For years, lawmakers have been on his side. Keep zinc at the mint. But now he's got a different audience. Trump and his right-hand man, Musk, have said this administration is all about efficiency. And it may be tough to convince them the penny makes any sense.